Welcome to this video guide on the AI tool landscape. With over 10,000 AI tools now available and new ones launching weekly, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Most are just wrappers for a few core models, and many won't last long. Let's provide you with a map and a filter to navigate this space. This program is episode 17 of the Mastering AI ML series, brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team and Technovative AI.
The core problem is scale. With 10,000 tools, teams often end up chasing hype rather than solving real problems, leading to wasted budgets. Relying on simple tool lists is futile, as they become outdated instantly. We need a durable framework to classify tools by layer, capability, and risk, providing a lens rather than a list. This chart illustrates the exponential growth of the AI tool market from a few hundred in 2019 to over 10,000 today. Understanding that the vast majority are just application layer wrappers built on a small number of foundation model APIs is the first step toward not being overwhelmed by this explosion. Every AI tool operates within a 4-layer stack. Recognizing which layer a tool occupies is crucial. It reveals what the tool can actually do, its potential switching costs, and whether its claims of differentiation are genuine or merely cosmetic. Here is our 4-layer stack. From the base, we have core foundation models, followed by developer tools, and finally, at the top, applications and automation. Identifying the layer of any tool you evaluate immediately clarifies your capability ceiling and the level of vendor lock-in you are agreeing to. Layer 1 consists of the raw foundation models and APIs, such as GPT-4, Claude, or Llama. These are the engines for everything else. Understanding this layer is your best defense against misleading proprietary AI claims. If a vendor won't disclose which foundation model they use, consider that a major warning sign. Layer 2 covers developer tools and frameworks. This includes orchestration platforms like LangChain, model hubs like Hugging Face, and tools for experimentation or routing. These provide the infrastructure for building robust AI systems on top of those foundational models. Layer 3 is where most AI-powered applications reside. These tools focus on UX, workflow, and domain-specific utility rather than raw AI innovation. Examples include productivity tools for writing, coding assistants like GitHub Copilot, and research platforms like Perplexity. The value here is in the integration, not the underlying model. Layer 4 focuses on workflow automation and integration. Tools like Zapier, Make, and built-in office suites are the fastest way for most organizations to derive value. These don't require engineering resources or prompt engineering skills, but instead allow you to embed AI into the processes you already understand. The wrapper problem is an uncomfortable truth. Many application layer tools are thin shells over commercial APIs. While the UI and features offer genuine value, you are essentially renting your AI capability. Always weigh this dependency when making long-term pricing, switching, or longevity decisions. Not all wrappers are created equal. Low differentiation wrappers are easily copied and carry high churn risk. High differentiation wrappers, however, build deep integrations, proprietary data loops, or strong user habits. The danger lies in low differentiation tools charging high differentiation prices. Always know exactly what you are buying. Beyond the layers, tools fall into 4 functional categories. Understanding these helps you evaluate a tool's specific relevance to your use cases, ensuring you focus on utility rather than just getting swept up in the latest industry hype cycle. These 4 categories are language tools, image and video tools, code tools, and data analytics tools. Each category has distinct criteria for success. For example, language tools prioritize accuracy, while data tools demand audit trails. You must apply the right evaluation lens for the category you are considering. Language tools are currently the most crowded market, covering everything from chatbots to writing assistants. Differentiation here is found in context and integration depth. When evaluating these, prioritize hallucination controls, data retention policies, and whether the tool offers a feedback loop that learns from your organization's unique content. Finally, image and video tools are evolving rapidly. This includes generative tools like Midjourney or Sora, as well as creative editing solutions like Adobe Firefly, which focuses on commercially safe training data. When choosing tools in this category, be particularly mindful of rights, provenance, and long-term usage policies. Next, let's explore code tools. This category offers the highest measurable ROI, with productivity gains often cited between 20 to 55%. However, it's also the highest risk area. If a code suggestion tool inadvertently introduces security vulnerabilities, the cost of remediation can quickly dwarf any productivity benefits gained by your developers. In the data and analytics category, AI promises to democratize access to insights. These tools can surface hidden anomalies and generate forecasts, which is a game changer for data-strapped teams. The caution, however, is that these systems are prone to overconfidence. Always validate insights against your known benchmarks before taking any action. To cut through the noise, I recommend using the 6-question evaluation checklist before adopting any AI tool. These questions are designed to pierce through marketing fluff and help you determine if a tool is a truly good fit for your specific team, use case, and tolerance for risk. The first question is, what layer of the stack does this tool occupy? This determines its capability ceiling and your switching costs. A foundation model gives you more power but requires engineering. Application layer tools are faster to deploy but more constrained. A vendor's inability to explain their position in the stack is a red flag. Second, what model is underneath? If they disclose it, that's a good signal for benchmarking. If they claim, quote, proprietary AI without technical documentation, it's neutral at best. If they refuse to say, they are likely just a thin, marked-up wrapper over an existing API. Proceed with extreme caution. Third, what problem does it solve? If a vendor cannot clearly state in one sentence exactly what task their tool automates or accelerates, the tool is likely as vague as its value proposition. Don't let buzzwords disguise a lack of utility. If they can't define it in 30 seconds, stop the evaluation. Fourth, what is the data policy? This is non-negotiable for any enterprise use. Many tools train their models on your input data by default, which can lead to proprietary information leaving your control. Always verify data privacy and security settings before deploying any AI solution at scale. Fifth, what is your exit strategy? Beware of tools that are sticky by architecture, making it difficult to export your data or recreate your workflows elsewhere. You should always ask if you can export to open formats, and if your automations can be moved to another platform if necessary. Finally, does it measurably help? A tool without a success metric is just a cost center. Define your KPIs, like time saved or error rate reduction, before you begin a pilot. If you aren't measuring the impact, you're not investing, you're just spending. Here is the summary of our 6-question checklist. By keeping this flow handy, you can quickly assess any potential tool. It turns what could be a long, subjective sales process into a fast, defensible, and structured evaluation. Keep these criteria on hand for every new tool you consider. Now let's talk about the hype filter. Marketing for AI tools has become incredibly sophisticated. Vendors know exactly which phrases to use to get budget approval. Developing the skill to distinguish genuine technical capability from mere marketing theater is essential for anyone in a decision-making role today. To help you navigate this, let's look at a comparison of red flags versus green flags. Knowing what to look for can save you significant time and protect your team from adopting solutions that aren't actually built for professional use. Some common hype phrases to watch for include proprietary AI, which often masks a basic API call, or 10x productivity gains, which almost never comes with a verified methodology. Similarly, terms like AI native or trusted by thousands are often meaningless without specific context or proof. Always ask for the evidence. Conversely, look for signals of genuine differentiation. These include published benchmarks, transparency in their security audits, customer case studies with real names and metrics, and pricing models that scale with actual usage rather than hidden feature unlocks. These are the indicators of a mature, reliable vendor. In conclusion, follow this simple evaluation flow. Locate the layer, apply the 6 questions, filter the hype, and define your pilot with a clear go or no-go metric. This takes less than an hour, but it will save you weeks of wasted effort and budget. Thanks for watching. This episode concludes by outlining our primary learning outcomes. We've explored the 4-layer stack to understand capability ceilings, identified wrapper tools, established a 6-question evaluation framework, and learned to recognize marketing hype. You are now prepared to approach tool selection with clarity and confidence. The key takeaway is that you don't need to know every AI tool on the market. Instead, your goal is to be informed enough that no tool creates confusion. By using the 4-layer stack, our 6 evaluation questions, and a sharp hype filter, you can navigate the landscape calmly, critically, and free from FOMO. As you move forward, carry these principles. Always identify a tool's layer first to resolve most confusion. Recognize that while wrappers offer value, you should never pay proprietary prices for them. Define your success metrics before piloting. And remember that healthy skepticism is a vital feature for protecting your organization from expensive mistakes. Next time, in episode 18, we will explore no-code AI tools. We'll go deep into platforms like Zapier, Make, and N8N, covering how to build AI-powered workflows without engineering. You'll leave with side-by-side comparisons, practical templates, and a clear governance model for your team. For further learning, check out these resources. The Hugging Face Model Hub is essential for tracking models, while the Stanford Helm Benchmark offers rigorous evaluation data. The A16Z AI Canon is excellent for fundamental concepts, and TerezaniForThat.com is great for discovering new tools, provided you apply our 6-question filter first. This glossary summarizes key terms from our discussion. From foundation models and API wrappers to RAG, fine-tuning, shadow AI, and DPAs, these concepts form the backbone of the AI industry. Refer back to these definitions whenever you encounter technical jargon during your procurement or development cycles. Here is your full framework reference. Remember the 4 layers, the 4 categories of tools, and our 6 evaluation questions. This is your toolkit for every future assessment. Keep it accessible to ensure every evaluation you conduct remains structured, defensible, and focused on value. Finally, use these 4 discussion questions with your team. Map your current inventory to the stack, audit for overpaid wrappers, review your data policies, and ensure every tool has a measurable ROI. These conversations are the fastest way to turn theoretical understanding into operational efficiency. You now have the map to navigate the thousands of tools available. With the 4-layer stack and our evaluation framework, you can cut through the noise. Join us in the next episode for a hands-on look at no-code AI tools to start building your own automated workflows.